Today's episode is brought to you by Wells Financial Legacy. Have you recently been denied credit? Do you know your credit score? And if so, is it above 750? If not, don't worry. Give Wells Financial Legacy a call at 1-800-339-8034 and set up a free confidential consultation with a specialist. And now, on to today's show.
I wake up every single day. I am who I say I am. And I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles. You're not average. You're not even good. You were born to be great.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ, joined as always by the Bayesian sensation, Mr. Carl Phillips.
Feeling like money today, y'all.
And Dr. Eric Douglas, Dougie Fresh Thomas.
Yeah, I want to know what love is. I want to feel what Carl feels. He smell like money.
Carl over there feeling like Floyd Mayweather. What's the word?
So I can't tell if it's my new diet. I've been eating some fruits and some nuts and grains, or the fact that my wife and kids are in sunny Barbados right now, and I'm at the crib on the solo, being able to walk around how I want to, when I want to, and do whatever I want to. I'm not sure.
Fair or foul.
If only for one night. You know what I'm saying? If only for one night, Carl, if I can get that.
Fair or
running
foul.
around the crib on the solo.
Yeah, I can't
I
tell,
promise
man.
you, I love my kids, but man, what a one night would do just of solitude.
Man. Woo. Yeah, so
and
I'm
you
on
get a
cloud
couple,
10.
right?
I'm talking about they gone for the week. I'll hook up with them next week, but they're gone for the whole week.
Yeah, you might well just grow out your beard, let the grays grow in. By the way, I'm tripping. So I've been growing my beard out. Yo, I got gray hair. I'm like, I didn't even know I had. I had like two of them. And Candace was like, baby, you got some grays in your beard. I was like, stop playing. So I went over to the mirror, and sure enough, I had two gray hair on the side. And then I was like, let me pull these out. I pulled them out, and then the next day I woke up and had one on the other side. I'm like, oh my
Get
goodness.
that Atlanta Beijing.
Let me tell you something. I almost grabbed a permanent marker on the spot, bro.
Fair
I just
foul.
got busy. Like,
Fair foul.
what in the depth? I need a Sharpie quick. I'm like, yo, I ain't even 40 yet. How do I got the grades popping?
Because you got two kids. It don't matter. And you working
let me
with
tell you
Kel. Kel might have gave you the
no,
two. Then you got Bud.
no
then
doubt.
you got Jerz.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, Trey's stressing me out. Because Trey, it's funny, he's at that age where he's like grown enough to talk regular, but still like a toddler in certain ways. This dude gonna tell me the other day, Daddy, I gotta go to the bathroom. I said, bet, here I come. He's like, I don't need you to come with me, Daddy. I'm a big boy. I was like, oh, okay, cool. About 2 minutes later, I hear him say, Daddy, come wipe my butt. I'm like, wait a minute. He just said, you know what I'm saying? My man just said I'm grown.
Fair foul. Wipe my butt.
I'm talking about all day. My man, I come in there, my man on all fours, bent over like, Daddy, go and get that. I'm like, bruh, I just thought you said you was grown. So, by the way, what age does that, Carl, George's a little older than Trey.
So what we are experiencing now, my wife and I, we don't know when the time is right, but we figured at some point he got to be doing it on his own. So we started, and it's been a terrible process. Terrible, because
I'll be real with you. I thought about trying to have him do it on his own, but then I figured the cleanup for that was going,
I don't know
what I'm
if
saying? At least it's isolated. It's isolated when he called me. You know what I'm saying? I have a feeling if I let him do it himself, I'll be in there for some hours. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm counting my blessings, man. When does that stop? At what age?
I don't know. It's been so long, man. I might still be
21.
I might still be wiping butt.
22.
I don't know.
He still got Jay sometimes.
And you know what I'm saying? You know what's so
sometime.
funny too? What's so funny is it really does depend. You know, we both have a boy and a girl, and while Jay was pretty independent, he wasn't as independent as his sister. I don't remember ever having to do a whole lot for Jada. But I do remember, you know what I'm saying, a couple times having to do something for Jalen. But Jada was definitely, you know what I'm saying, like, I got this, I'm on my own. So even in college, you know, some of the things I had to walk Jalen through, you know, because he was like, all right, what about this, what about that? Jada just got like a different kind of totally independent spirit and doesn't want your help. So you really have to fight. Matter of fact, it's so funny. She had an opportunity to speak yesterday, and her mom was like, you can't tell her I told you. But she's going to be speaking to a group of freshmen on campus. And I was like, you can't tell me.
The beginning.
Well, I'm telling you, I knew from a young age that Jada was, I mean, she got a gift to present that's out of this world. She's just a natural. And Dee Dee said, she told me not to tell you, and because she don't want you to come. And I was like, she don't want me to come. And Dee Dee was like, no, she don't want you to come. And I'm thinking, what? That don't even make sense. But I guess, you know what I'm saying, your father's a presenter, so you could like meet like a little nerve-wracking. But she did tell us how it went yesterday, and she felt like she did a phenomenal job. They were only like, I think, seniors in high school, maybe not even on their way to college. They might have been going into their senior year. So yeah, she said she thought she did a phenomenal job. Of course, anytime you're a public speaker, you always wish you could have said this or said that, but for the most part, she said she had a phenomenal experience. So yeah, looking forward to what that's gonna bring.
Man, it's so funny. I can't even see Jada getting up in front of a group talking.
It seemed weird.
Jada just started speaking to me about 6 months ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it do seem
that's the
weird.
thing. It's weird.
I'm gonna be in my room chilling.
Yeah, no, she's definitely not a flamingo. She's definitely not a people person. But I think, you know, to be able, that might be gorilla. Like she want to tell people what to do, though. You know what I'm saying? She does want to tell them what to do and what not to do. You know, so it's different when she gets on that camera. I mean, when she gets even the camera, Carl. You remember when you did her graduation?
Yeah.
She lit up.
Chilling.
You know what I'm saying? She lit up.
Yeah, she got it. Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, man. So shout out to Jada and her public speaking. She's up next. So yeah, appreciate.
Career.
Yeah,
Can we call it a career?
No doubt.
Can we call it a career?
Especially if she start making
Is
some
it too
bread
early?
off it. You know, anytime I have a situation in my household, I like to bring it to the council. And by the council, I mean the two of you, of course, Josh. I had a situation the other day. So, E, I want to thank you for this, for bringing extra drama into my life.
Praise God.
So, no, for real, I want to thank you for this. So, E had, like, for those of you who don't know, my wife, Candace, was actually met E before I did and was speaking with E before I was. A lot of people don't know that, little known fact. But Candace was actually with E at the Advantage and speaking and doing her thing a long time ago. And so, of course, Candace kind of went the corporate route, and then I hooked up with E, and me and E and Carl, we've been running ever since. And Candace has been kind of in that corporate bubble for a while, but every once in a while, when she comes on the road, E would just call on her randomly to come speak. And she hates it because my wife is like one of those over-prepared, needs 10 days worth of notes and a journal, you know, to know exactly what she's gonna say. But E called her up one time in Houston, I think at the spiritual event, and, you know, had her pray a couple of times and speak. And she did a phenomenal job, right? And so then a couple of days later, of course, we were back in Michigan and we were at church, and E called her up and had her do like a little mini sermon at church and the whole nine. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So she did a great job. I didn't think anything of it. And then, so E, I want to thank you for this. The other day she goes, so what did you think about, you know, me speaking last week? And I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, what did you think? I was like, babe, I told you, I thought you did a great job. She was like, no. I want you to coach me like you coach your game changers, like you coach your clients. Like, what do I need to work on?
It's a setup.
Of course, I just told her, how do you improve on perfection, dear? You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nowhere to go.
Doubt.
Hey, you at the penthouse. But so she's like, babe, stop. I know there's some things I got to work on. So she legit is mad at me now because I won't coach her as a speaker. Because now she's saying, well, that's what you do for a living. You coach people on how to speak and build their brands and da-da-da.
Absolutely.
Why don't you want to coach me? I need some help, guys. What do I do about this situation? Because she brought it up again last night,
Forrest.
and I'm like, look, I'm stuck, boo. I'm not getting ready to give you any negative feedback, regardless. So you might as well not even come.
What you do is you charge her a phenomenal fee. You charge her a fee, and then you put her through what you put me through, and then we got another top speaker in the world, and we can dominate the industry.
See, here goes my problem. My wife, she won't get mad at you. Like, she actually is available for negative feedback. She ain't tripping on it, but it just beats her spirit down. You know what I'm saying? So like, she could do a phenomenal 2-hour speech, and I'd be like, "Boy, it was that one part where you probably could have, you know, did this and did that." She will dwell on that one little piece for the next 6 weeks and just be like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't get it right. So I'm like,
oh, no
I'm not
question
going
that's
that
what
route.
the greats do.
I'm not going
Yeah,
that
that's
route.
what the greats do.
Yep, so.
Oh, see, here's the problem. You're being selfish, and you're worried about your own
absolutely.
atmosphere at the home. You're worried about your own atmosphere.
I'm well aware of that.
You're not worried about the world. You're not worried about the world at home, at large.
No,
and we
sir.
need you to get your priorities
No,
straight.
sir. I'm trying to keep everything kosher at the crib. I'm not concerned. So I was like, boo, I have never heard such a message in my life. And I work with E every day, and I never heard a message.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I never heard such a message.
And I never heard a message. So, yeah, Carl, you got any advice for me?
Oh, I'm telling you, run for the hills. You gotta live with her. I'm not.
which
I'm
cometh
not.
your
Yeah,
help.
run for the hills, bro. Yeah, that's a whole. It's cute to sound like that, but yeah, y'all get into one or two of them conversations, and people can't see themselves the way you see them. Never. Like it ain't possible. So there may come a point where she thought something was fire, and you just like, yo, it was terrible, and I could just see that going real rough, because your wife is a gorilla too. Now you just a stronger gorilla, but she got some strong gorilla in there too, so I could see that getting ugly. I'm talking about run for the hills. Yeah,
The
no parts of that.
WWE.
No doubt.
No parts of that.
Yeah, I might have to tell her before the marriage conference in Miami, see if we can get a little counseling when we get down there. You know what I'm saying? If I tell her today, hopefully we can get it fixed. Shout out to Willie Moe Jr., who gonna be dropping nuggets at the marriage conference. I might need him,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
So, but yeah, no, man, I appreciate that. But I'll keep y'all posted. But I'm just gonna keep bobbing and weaving and trying to duck and dodge her until
The Thriller in Manila. I want to see
I
it.
can't even do it. I'm not even gonna hold you up.
Hey, just tell her you booked out right now. Like you got just too many clients.
Yeah,
We'll see if you can get her in.
Well, yeah. I don't know how that one's gonna come across either. But she was literally like, "Yo, I'm not playing. Like this is what you do. Why wouldn't you help me? I would help you." If, I was like, "Wow." So yeah, no, I'm straight, bro. I'm about to retire altogether. So shout out to everybody who needed my services. It's no longer. I'm about to move a whole different career. You know what I'm saying? So real quick, guys. So what I wanted to talk about today, and E and I briefly talked about it yesterday, man, and it's getting to that next level. And I feel like a lot of people been hitting me lately just on that, yo, like, how did y'all get from good to great, if you will? And at some point, I do want to do, the 10,000 hours and talk about that, but that's not what this particular podcast is about, or this particular episode. I wanted to make sure that we hit on going from good to great. And I remember that was actually, shout out to Jim Collins. He made us read that book, Carl, if you remember, way back when we were at Michigan State. But there are some strategic things that we did to get to the next level, guys. And for those of you out there who are struggling to get to that next level, you may be like us in a sense. And what I mean by that is, back in the day, I always said we were like an and one team. If anybody's ever seen like the and one street ball, right? Like those guys, they play out at Rucker Park. They're throwing it off the backboard. They're dunking like crazy. The crowd is oohing and on. But at the end of the day, it's still just street ball. And we didn't really go to that next level until we actually got in the NBA. Right. And by that, I mean, we had contracts, we had structure, we had agreements in place, we had drafts, we had all of these things that took us to that next level. And you and I were talking about it. And I was talking to a young lady, Mia, shout out to Mia. And she was talking about her speaking and, her career and all of that. And I was saying, yo, right now you just street ball. You going out, you doing your mentoring programs, or you speaking and you doing your thing. But like, it's time to start putting it in overdrive. Like, do you have a brochure? Do you have a manual? Do you have a textbook? Do you have a podcast? Like, how can you take your game to the next level? And one of the things that you and I always talked about is we used to feel like people were hating on us, right? Like, we used to feel like, for real, at the university, like they were just beating us down. Like they didn't want to give us any grants. We couldn't get any money. We couldn't get anything. But it was because we were playing street ball, and you cannot get paid the big bucks playing street ball. You have to go to that next level. So Carl, do you remember when we start implementing data, right? Like, believe it or not, we weren't even signing people into the advantage. We didn't even know we had to sign people in. We didn't know that we needed to track which students came in and how long they stayed and what their GPA was and what the impact our program was having. We didn't understand any of that. And so today, E, I want you to talk to the people listening who are struggling to get to that next level, who may be very good and maybe even put in the 10,000 hours, but they've yet to up their game and go to that next level. And I want you to kind of talk about it from your perspective of, you was playing super street ball before you met me and Carl, and then probably still a little street ball. But when we finally made that transition, and even for you, E, with your PhD and your presentation, you kind of talked about it in, I don't know if it was in your sermon or somewhere you spoke about recently, just in terms of even going to another level as a presenter in your vocabulary and your theory and your research. So talk to those people who may be stuck saying, man, I put in the 10,000 hours. Everybody says I'm sweet, right? You getting that great feedback. Everybody like, oh, that was great. I loved it. but you haven't taken your game to that NBA level.
Yeah, and I want you guys to listen to, what we're about to say in the spirit. Like, don't necessarily get caught up in, okay, these are the 8 things that, they did, and I'm going to do these 8 things. I really want you to listen to this in the spirit, because it may be some things that we're doing that you don't need to do, or it might be. But I really want you to think about. I want you to think about the concept. Conceptually, what are we saying, and then more importantly, how are you going to apply this to, to what you're doing. But number one, I think what I had to do is I had to put myself in a system, and I'm just being real. Some birds aren't meant to be caged, but to an extent, I had to cage myself. And when I look at the difference between, who I was prior to connecting with C and Carl, and who I was with, and back in the day when we was playing street ball, one of the things I recognize, guys, is I selected people who I figured would, like, let's say, I don't even want to say compliment me, Carl. That may not be a good word. I chose people who were like me. And the reason why I chose people who were like me, because I'm just being real. See, it was, I don't want to use the word drama. That's a strong word to use. Let me use this word now, because I see things a little different. But we call it sandpaper people, And one of the things that we dislike about sandpaper people is that it is rough. Like, sandpaper is rough, see? But when you put that sandpaper on that object, let's say it's wood or whatever, it really makes it smoother, And I think what I did wrong in the beginning when I first found out I had a gift and I was moving forward, let's just say in Chris' assessment, I'm a flamingo. I chose flamingos, see, because it was, I'm just being real, see, it was less resistance.
Right.
It was less critique. It was less, for real, when you're a different animal, you see things differently. And so for me, it was just like, I like the fact that flamingos think like I think, they spontaneous. So when you spontaneous and you're working with other spontaneous people, they not gonna slow you down. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna hear a lot of no's. I heard, I probably never heard no. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. In my earlier years with my dudes, I probably never heard the word no. But when I got with C and Carl, it'd be like no, or Carl might have been like, do it over and do it over. And while I did better each time I did it over, I'm just gonna be real. I'm not gonna tell you that I wanted to do it over. So I really want you guys to hear what I'm saying, is that in my earlier years, I selected people who had the same personality as I had. And I guess, see, I thought that I could get to the next level by surrounding myself with myself. You know what I'm saying? I did. But what I realized was like, yo, E, you don't need another E.T. Like, you got that down pat. Like, you don't need another flamingo. You don't need another spontaneous, unorganized, overly energetic, enthusiastic, a lover of people. Like, you don't need another one of those. You need a gorilla in your life. You need a chameleon in your life. You need a turtle in your life. So I think that's the first thing I had to do, was I had to, and let me tell you something, see, it's hard. I had to voluntarily put myself in a cage. You feel me? Because one thing you know about a flamingo, bro, we don't like to be caged, and we don't like nobody controlling us. And I had to literally like go in the cage on my own and say, yo, E, you like Michael Jordan when he was putting up 60-something, winning dunk contests, posterizing folks, but he wasn't necessarily winning championships.
Just
So I put myself in a system.
I'm not a gorilla that's controlling them. I didn't know if that was a shot.
We're not naming people.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. We're not naming people.
Oh, just animals. Okay. No. I want to speak to that. I want to speak to that really quick, because I think that's a critical component, because I think we do, even in our, because in our social circles, I think that works, right? Like, you want to be around people like yourself, right? In your social circles, it makes sense, right? You go out, hang out, you guys go to the park, you go to the zoo, you got another family, they got 2 young kids, the dad work, you want to hang around people who are similar to you. Why? Because you end up talking about the same things, you end up affirming each other about the same things. But what you're saying is, as it related to business, that wasn't necessarily the healthiest way and the most conducive way for you getting to the next level, is to surround people, yourself with people who are exactly like you. And I think even for myself, me and you were a lot alike on the face, right? Like, initially, right? Because like, people don't know, I love it, that I was speaking years before I met E. I stopped speaking because I realized that E and I were too similar. right? And so I think what you're saying is professionally, especially as an entrepreneur or anything else, that's when you kind of need to try to find people other than yourself. Because I think in a social setting, it's fine, right? Like you would hang around Jamie, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if you and Jamie started a company together, if that would necessarily be the most.
I promise
you know what I
you.
mean? It'd be a lot of eating going on, a lot of ministry. But I don't know if anybody would necessarily have a contract in place.
I don't know if we make no money.
Y'all will eat real good.
But people would be happy. The clients might be fulfilled, but yeah, we definitely would not. Yeah, definitely.
So I just wanted to make the distinction because you got people out there who take stuff literal and they might be like, oh, well, you telling me I can't hang around my cousin because we a lot alike? Absolutely not. We're talking about for business purposes or even getting to the next level, in life, because I'm thinking about some other areas in which you may need somebody who, can be that sandpaper for you. So I just wanted to make that distinction before you went on.
Oh, absolutely. And so I'd say number two, guys, I think what happened was when I put myself in a cage, and by putting myself in a cage, I'm really referring, to my gift or my professional preference. So I want people to be clear on that. I'm not saying, that as a human, I put myself in a cage, but I'm saying as my gift, I voluntarily said, okay, E, what you've decided to do professionally, you need to put yourself in a cage. You need to put yourself in a system, in a structure. And so what happened from that, is one of the things that came to light is that there were some aspects of my profession that was helter-skelter, right? That was disorderly, that was not organized, that needed to be. There's some things that don't need to be. So when you're talking about, I love the fact that somebody can say to me in 3 minutes, yo, E, I need you to speak on boom, boom, boom. I get on stage and kill it. I have a mic, I don't have a mic. I have a projector and a screen, I don't have it. I have handouts, I don't. Sometimes in life, you as prepared as you want to be, stuff happens. So that part of I'm not limited when it's showtime, but there was some parts, that was just helter-skelter. It was disorganized. There was all over the place.
Give us an example of the helter-skelter, though.
So for instance, let's just talk about, an actual engagement, and I might go to the engagement and I'm talking about I'm on fire. I'm a phenomenal message, but I don't think we had a system in the beginning before I met you guys where we talked to the organizer, where we had an interview process before to find out what they wanted. Right. We didn't have an assessment afterwards to see, based on what they asked for, did we deliver on that? We didn't have a follow-up program to say, hey, we did this for you. Is there anything else the company can do for you? We didn't have a system where it was like, hey, thank you for allowing us to do work in your company. Are there 4 or 5 other principals that that could use the same?
I'm gonna be real. When we started, I don't even know we had a contract. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. Until LaShawna came, we didn't have a contract. Somebody will call us from New Jersey and be like, yo, we got 8 schools we need y'all to do. We pay y'all $500. We like, bet. We on the road, like,
let's go.
And I want y'all to hear this, because don't get discouraged, because this is where you have to start, right? Like, nobody starts with the system laid out. And I think that paralyzes a lot of people from getting started, because they go, oh, I don't have anything in place. You have to get started, and then the system kind of will come with you. But literally, when we started together, we were traveling states away with no contract. We could have got there and probably did get there a couple times, and they was like, look, we ain't got the money right now. We'll pay y'all later, and we had absolutely no recourse to go about getting
no system in place to collect the money.
And taking students.
Oh, it's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't even just us. We taking students for 4 or 5, 6 students with us, and still don't have no system.
Losing money.
Real. Wow.
Losing money. So yeah, I just want, absolutely. Either helter-skelter for sure.
Yeah. So I just want to be cautious. So if you're listening, you may be the person that has the system. But what you need to do is get out of the cage. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might be a person that's so system. You know what I'm saying? That you missing a lot of opportunities, because it's like, if it ain't, linear, if it ain't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, ABC, like, then you can't operate. And there's some aspects, of business that need to be organic. You know what I'm saying? There are some aspects that cannot be, what's the word I'm looking for, like, you can't put in a lab and create. There's some things that just happen, spontaneously. There are just some things that happen organically. So we don't know who you are as a company, so we're not saying that you may not be helter-skelter, but you might need to be, because sometimes even when you're looking at basketball, coach could put together a phenomenal plan against another team, and you come out and somebody get injured, bruh. Or somebody see, how many times have we seen a good team executing the coach's plan and then somebody getting in early foul trouble? Yo, bro, you got to abandon that, bro.
Right.
Your number one player on the bench right now. You know what I'm saying? My man had twisted his ankle. It's like, what, you stop playing because, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
and that's for all my
just
A-type
telling
people, my super A-type people, who you only sweet if everything going your way. But as soon as the little rain come, whoo, and
and I had to adjust to that. See,
yeah.
let me get in there. I had to adjust because for real, do you know how much easier my life would be if he told me the slides that he was going to use a week in advance? And if he wanted to play this audio clip, I'm not trying to be funny, y'all, but we was in Philly and he was about to go up right after Jersey. He texts me like, yo, can you find that clip from TJ with Trey running? I want to use that. I'm talking about there, like we at the event, the slides is live, and he's sending me stuff to put up.
Oh, and Mike said during the middle of his speech, like, hey, Carl,
hey, Carl, can you find that? We used it like 3 years ago in Egypt, Carl. Can you find that slide? Yo, that's real. So, but what I had to adjust, I had to make the adjustment, see, because I saw it. Like I saw when he got into a room, and I would see he just kind of go off to a corner and feel the room out. Talk to a couple of people and know what's going on, and he would scrap the whole slides. Like I promise y'all, like the structure in me was, man, I got these slides and I'm telling y'all, so I'm trying to put my heart into them.
They were so
y'all
sweet.
saw TGIM. I'm telling you, I'm putting TGIM editing into the slides. So I have, listen to what I'm saying.
Oh, so sweet.
Hey, listen to what I'm saying. I am putting like transition, my transition is a part of the slide. Don't think that I'm just putting a transition to make it sweet.
Yeah.
Like my transition is telling the story. Like I thought that all the way through. I promise y'all, we get up there and he did slide 3 and number 16 and never looked at them.
Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Okay, that one right there.
But the adjustment that I made was like, yo, do you see what's happening at these events? Do you see people walking out of here changing their lives, tearing up, sending us emails saying how that one piece that he said? So I'm like, Carl, you could be as structured with the slides as you want, but you might have to get up there and go through them in order. And I don't know if it's going to have the same impact if y'all give me the microphone. So that's just real, man. You got to adjust with whatever is happening.
Yep. All right, E, continue.
Yeah, wow. No, I'm just thinking, see, that's like unbelievable.
Hey, real quick, you hold your thoughts.
Yeah,
see, to the point where we come in filming this morning, and he's like, yo, I'm going to pause here to give you a spot to cut. Now, he's making the adjustments for our side now. I was
he
just
definitely had to
this
make
morning.
the adjustment for Ken. He was calling Ken at like 3 in the morning, like, meet me at the lab right now. I'm ready. Ken was like, what in the world? Back when I was at the Lear Center, I had to be to work till 9:15.
Right, and so to Carl's point on that one, what happened was the system then created needed structure. You know what I'm saying? So, and when I say needed structure, it's crazy because CJ never said he's this, and Carl never said that. He was this. But immediately when we said here's a system, we automatically knew who needed to be the guard, who needed to be the one, who needed to be the 2, who needed to be 3. It was the craziest thing. It's just like, see, when you playing and one ball, it's like, yo, everybody just out there kind of doing their thing, and that's not a bad thing, you know, because you're exploring, you kind of whatever. But once we said like, yo, this is the league now, we are professional players, C had to take a role. You know, before we was all kind of just chilling and we was all kind of doing everything. C had to just like literally, C had to be like, all right, I got bad cop. I'm bad cop. All right, E got good cop. All right, Carl's back at the dispatch. You know what I'm saying? Like Carl ain't even, you know what I'm saying? Carl ain't even out on the street level. Carl is dispatch. You know what I'm saying? Carl calling it in like, hey y'all need to be X, Y, Z doing X, Y, Z at this time. And then we'll call Carl in like, all right, Carl, we out here at this meet. Yeah, no questions asked. We out here doing whatever. And I'm saying, I'm being real though. I need y'all to see it. Once we got professional, once we got professional, it created structure for us. And it was like, all right, this C job now. If we're going to get this done in 2010, C, you're going to have to do this. If we're going to, E, you got to do this. E, and here's the thing. It wasn't that no one else could do anything else. C started saying, you know, the brain, the hands, the mouth. And it wasn't that, you know, you couldn't do anything else. But C was like, yo, as it relates to the mind and the brain, look, anything go wrong, I'm totally responsible for it. It got to a point where C was like, I'm not speaking no more. That's E thing now. Because we knew where we were trying to go. The system actually created for us some very tangible, you know, some milestones, some tasks, some very, you know, tangible things. And so Carl was like, okay, we can't edit. You know, we don't think like that. And so number two, see, I think, again, what's important is that once you get that system, don't be afraid to put yourself in a system. Or if you're in a system, don't be afraid to allow that system to do what? Its work, to create structure. Like, you can't control everything. There's some things that the system itself, see, will control.
So if you're A-type, you need to allow the system to be more flexible. If you're not, then you need to allow yourself to be in the system. So it sounds like you're saying to find a healthy balance. And I think that's been the hardest part for me, because while I'm not quite as loose as E in terms of, like, you know, the free spirit, I do still have, you know, the team. That's the number one thing they're working with me on now, is they want me to have all these calendars and all these reminders and all this structure. And I'm saying, like, yo, I feel y'all, but don't give me too much structure, because personally, I lose creativity when it's too structured. Like, I don't want to look and see, you got to do this every second of my day, because it doesn't allow me to be as creative. But I do understand, E, like you said, the need to create a system so that I'm still effective in certain parts of the company. So I think finding that balance is tough, but I know if E can find that balance, anybody can find it. Because I mean, literally, E has always been the most spontaneous person I've ever met in my life.
Oh, of course,
so,
they killing
that's
me.
real.
And so for him,
They killing me, Petey.
let me tell you something.
That's real.
When I saw E with a little Google calendar, I was like, oh Lord. Now he still might blow that calendar out, but he has one. So no, I feel you. So find the balance. I got it, Ego. What's number 2? Or are we on number 3? Sorry.
So we're on number 3 now. So what man, again, I'm a bird that hate to be caged. Number 3, what happened, see, was it created meaning, right? And we were able to start defining stuff. And then at that point, see, you know, things it just brought a lot of clarity. So let me give you guys an example, and I kind of talked about it for a little bit, but when C became president, because before we weren't really running with titles, like we don't really do that. But when C became president, that automatically made me CEO and founder, just because of the nature of, you know, I had been doing it 12 years before them. And so stuff that I would never do, like they'll tell you, I would never go and meet with other CEOs of companies. Like, I was not about networking, you know, and about, you know, trying to, what's the word I'm looking for, Carl? Like trying to gather, you know, support for the
and
company.
Now y'all on the first name basis with Bill and Dan and WB. You know what I'm saying, Carl?
Yeah, that's it.
Now he's just Dan, Bill, and WB.
Yeah, I'm being real, and y'all remember me in the beginning, it's like I would only be with you guys. I would only travel with you guys. But I looked up CEO one day, and one of the things it said about a CEO is that my job was to literally go out and find human resources for the company. Like, my job was to find physical resources for the company. So this system actually created like meaning for me. You know what I'm saying? Like meaning that I didn't have before. As C talked about speaking, I was like, yo, I just can't speak. Now, Carl, with this videography, we've got to create, thanks to Bob Proctor talking to me, it was like, yo, E, now you got to create a university. Like, you guys got to create. People will hear me speak like, yo, I'm way past that. I'm a creator of content now. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I got to a point where I was like, yo, I got to die one day. So I'm going to be very transparent, because this stuff is going to outlast us, see, and the last thing I want is for somebody to get a message that I watered down because I was worried about what somebody was going to think about what I was going to say. You know what I'm saying? So it gave me meaning. I started meeting the Bob Proctors of the world. I started sitting down with Bob Proctor. Another what? A thought leader. I got a call from Les Brown. Y'all remember that? I flew like immediately down there when my man called me. Les Brown was like, where you at? Orlando. I'm on my way down. Jared Robbins, Tony Robbins' son, he came here and met us for hours. So it gave me meaning. See, it was like, yo, you just can't be speaking no more. Like, now you are a thought leader, E. You have people out there who are listening to your words and utilizing the principles to take their marriage, their personal life, their health, whatever, to the next level. So you got to be very cautious about what you say, moves you make, how you do what you do. And then, like I said, see, start to network with people who can open up doors for us, people who could bless us with physical resources, you know, et cetera. So even with Josh, like, you know what I'm saying, when I met Josh, turned Josh on to you guys, you know, I had made a terrible, like, I wasn't really doing that well in the beginning, but I started realizing, like, yo, E, you can't play with this. Recruitment is a part of what you do. Why? Because you're on the road so much and you're meeting people, is that you got to do a better job with this recruitment thing. So number 3, C, for me, I think it adds meaning. And then when that meaning and we were able to define things, it brought a clarity that we didn't work with before when we were kind of helter-skelter. Now we have a little bit more clarity. And with that clarity, we're able to execute a little bit better than we were when we were all over the place.
Love it. Yep, got you. 100%.
All right, nobody want to add to that?
No, I'm impressed that you
Okay, well, you
sorry.
teaching, bro. I'm sitting here taking notes.
All right. So then number 4, I think this is what it did for me. I can't speak for you guys, but I can honestly say we had a clear destination. Okay. Now we always had direction. Don't get it twisted. We always had direction. Carl and I knew. Thank God it's Monday. We didn't know where we wanted to take Thank God It's Monday. Like, we didn't know that was something that we wanted to eventually put. Listen to me, guys. When it got to corporate, understand, that was intentional and deliberate. When it got to the school system, that was intentional and deliberate. Now, we couldn't guarantee that it would do it, but don't think corporate started listening to it by osmosis. Like, there were some things that we strategically changed, right? Carl went back to school and got a degree. There were some things C started doing with the mixtape. You know what I'm saying? So hear what I'm saying. We had a clearer destination. We knew exactly where we were going. Don't get it twisted. We always had a direction. We always got up in the morning like, hey, y'all, we need to do this, we need to do that. But we didn't have a destination. We didn't know we didn't know exactly where we were going. We just like, go west. Okay, now go southwest. All right. Now go east, right? But when we got this system, we had a clear destination, what we wanted to do. And now what you'll hear C do at the beginning of the year, sometimes fourth quarter and then first quarter, what C will do either with the mixtape or in meetings, he will give us what he calls a State of the Union. And that State of the Union is, hey, guys, this is what we're doing this year. This is what we're focusing on this year. Everybody can do what they do in their separate departments, but everybody needs to be focused on getting this vehicle to this place. And last, I just want to say, and I think from this system, we had a clearer path. You know what I'm saying? Like, before, it was just down, blue 53 on 3, go. And you just run up the gut. We were just running up the gut, but then I think when we got the system, it was like, all right, we're going to do the wishbone, you know what I'm saying, the I formation, the shotgun, boy, the bootleg, the halfback. And shout out to Coach Hugh Jackson for Cleveland for using that term last year. I had to call C like, yo, Coach just said the halfback.
I said, he
not
told
the
me he
fullback,
played halfback.
the halfback.
I said, bro, halfback. You mean running back? He was like, no, halfback. I was like, what is a halfback?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's some
I didn't get to do as much as the running back.
40 terminology.
I did half the work that the running back did. I got to do half the work the running back did.
Okay, so with the clear vision, how do you get a clear vision? Because I think one of the things as an entrepreneur, right, when you start, you don't always know exactly what the vision is, right? Like, so it's not always clear. So how did the system help us to make it clear?
I think the first thing it did was it helped us to realize who shouldn't be casting the vision. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing. And I think, I'm just being real. I think sometimes John Maxwell said it best. If you're in a hole, the first thing you want to do is stop digging. So I think for me and Carl, I think we were like, it doesn't mean we can't contribute to the vision, but from this point forth, C needs to be the person that's casting the vision. You know what I'm saying? Because as the brain, that's a part of his function. That's a part of his job. So we can have ideas and we share those ideas with C, but it just seems that C is more of a natural gift for C to say, okay, what is it that we want to do? Okay, we want to do TV. All right, what else we want to do? All right, we want to do radio. All right, cool. This is how we need to be going about doing it. And C was the person that said to me and Carl, stop doing TGIM 365 days a year. Stop. What I want you to do is they need to miss it. You got to give them some time to watch it, miss it like any other program. And then from there, Carl saw a vision when C said stop it. Carl was like, okay, TV,
that was a pivotal, I'm talking about a pivotal moment in this company, like for real. And he glazing over it, y'all, but they beefed. Like, they beefed. I'm talking about it was about a good hour and a half of going back and forth.
Carl was
why
at
we should
dispatch.
do TGIM. And I was at dispatch, y'all.
Carl was at dispatch.
I was at dispatch. But no, it was real. And again, both of them had very legitimate points. He was like, yo, I'm not trying to be funny, but this is like church. Like, you miss 1 week. You miss 1 week, and this is 2 weeks now. You go without feeling this pumped up feeling, or getting direction, and who knows what that could turn into. If C was like, I got you, but if you give something to people too much, it get common. So now people taking it for granted. TJ, I'm gonna be there. I ain't even gotta watch it this week, and I'm telling you, the decision was made, and at that point, we're like, all right, see, like, if that's what you want to do, and I'll be honest, me and E decided to do it not on, like, see right, like, all right, let's just prove this dude wrong. Let's just let him get it, and we gonna see that he gonna be wrong, and then we gonna come back and do what we was doing anyway. I promise y'all, the next season we started with probably double. The first episode probably had double of what we left off at, but then what E was saying was they put me in a position to realize, now, when they do a new show on TV, they do like 12 episodes, 16 episodes, or how many ever it is. So we just need to do seasons. And I promise y'all, it changed everything we're doing. So different seasons now started emerging from TGIM.
Well, and
now we could target corporate.
And what I also, within that was, it takes a lot of time and effort. People might see it and be like, oh, it's just a quick little thing.
Yeah.
But I knew it would give us time, not only for them to miss it and the numbers to go up, it would free us up to, start working on some other projects and things that we wanted to do. And so it was twofold. But I am a little disappointed to know y'all was plotting on me behind my back. I thought y'all just, I thought I talked y'all into it and we was all on one accord about what we were going to do.
No, you gorillaed us into it. Yeah, you gorillaed us into it. We didn't, it wasn't mutual. Like, we didn't sit down
I thought by the time
and come to that conclusion
I thought
mutually.
You was cool by the time we got to it, I thought you was like,
no, there was no buy-in. There was absolutely no buy-in.
Okay, I got you.
Hey, it was, he said, I ain't gonna fight with this clown no more. We gonna just watch him fail, and then we'll go back to doing what we was doing.
And then I'm doing 3 a week.
Boy.
I'm doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
But you know what's so crazy for those of you who are listening? What C did for us was a system, and you cannot, listen to me, you cannot fight a system. So what happened was, C never said, E, you can't do them every week. He never said you can't do 2 or 3, and sometimes that's what you hear. When you hear the system, sometimes you hear, but actually what it did for us was, when we weren't doing it, it gave me and Carl an opportunity to do it without rushing. So now we got 2 or 3 weeks, before the next one comes out. I remember exactly how many, a month or 2. I don't remember how much time, but it gave me really a time to do it without rushing. So now me and Carl doing 3 or 4 at a time.
But you know what, too?
And not only not rushing, C, but also gave us a time to plan the season. You know what I'm saying? So this season, here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So it wasn't he just get a moment and something happened and we just get up and talk. So from week to week, it wasn't nothing. No. Now the seasons had a theme for it. I don't know. The season with You Matter, I think that might have been season 6 was when that kind of transition happened. And you'll see it's like 4, if you watch all them videos in sequence, it's one called You Matter. Then the other one was like, yo, because I told you matter, now you're powerful. And they literally built on each other. So it put the system, created some stuff for us to do the direction like he was saying.
Yeah, no, 100%. And if you guys remember, I think we started putting in throwbacks. And that was another thing that really helped us out is, we had been doing it for so long at that point, we'd take 3-4 weeks off and I would just go through and cherry pick some of the best ones that I thought that I liked. And because we had a whole new audience that was growing with us who may have not started way back at the beginning and watched every single one, a lot of them were watching the throwbacks like they were new. And the throwback episodes were getting more views than they originally did the first time anyway. And so
Yeah, because the numbers was growing too at the same time. We get new Facebook followers, new Instagram followers, and a lot of stuff that we thought people had already seen. It was like, shoot, you had 10,000 new followers from season 6 to season 8, and they're just getting exposed to that message.
Right. So the moral of the story is, once again, I'm right. And you know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
We had to learn the hard way.
Long story short, but seriously, here's what I do. We fought the system, but here's what I do like about the system is when you have a system, everybody doesn't necessarily have to have the best game of their life in order to still win. You know what I mean? Like when we were playing and one, it was like if E didn't come with it, if I wasn't on my A and Carl wasn't on his game, it was like we was gonna lose by 20. Now the system allows for an injury where if I didn't go, if I didn't show up to DC, if I didn't show up to DC September 2nd, I promise you it would still be phenomenal. It would still be phenomenal because it's a system. Whereas back when we were playing and one, if I didn't show up, you might as well cancel the conference.
Cancel the game.
You know what I mean?
Cancel the
so
game.
Speak to how the system also allows us to win in situations where everybody may not be on top of their game fully.
Again, you just said it, see, because it's not personality driven anymore. is principle driven. You know, and if something is principle driven, you still have to put the right person, you know what I'm saying, in the position. You can't necessarily put, you know, a defensive minded person as your running back, you know, but if you can find somebody who understands clearly, Carl, what a running back is, and the New England Patriots have shown us, okay, that this guy played lacrosse. So while it wasn't necessarily, he wasn't a wide out, the qualities are similar, Carl. You know, the thought pattern is similar. You know, they're still running. You know what I'm saying?
You know how to run
it's still
and cut.
Yeah, you know how to run. You know how to run in patterns. You still think like an offensive person. There's still a specific spot that you're trying to get to. You know, but if you're principle driven, it just means that you distribute it evenly now across. You know what I'm saying? It's not something like C said that one individual has to take the bulk. And I'll be honest with you, I believe that I do even a better job at stay ready if I wasn't by myself. Okay, still I would probably do a good job. But it really gives me a chance as Inky is going, I can listen to the crowd, as Jeremy is going, as George is going, and I get to hear, okay, what did they miss? They said some phenomenal stuff. What did the people not get? And now I don't have to be all things to all people. I can now focus on that one area and really nail it. And the one thing I'm learning about the system, see, is that systems allow you to focus and like drive something home. So I said this before, not having a system is like hitting a tree 1,000 times in 1,000 different places. That's what it's like to not have a system. You are tearing that tree up. But what you might discover is that when you do it that way, you find 1,000 marks. So we can see your impact all over the tree. But a system allows you to hit the tree 1,000 times in the exact same spot. And so while we may not see all the markings, right? You may not have posterize a lot of people. You may not have a lot of highlight reels. You may not have scored a lot of points. You know what I'm saying? We may not see sweat all over you and you like you about to die. But what we will see is that tree falls when we hit it 1,000 times in one spot. No marks nowhere else. But that mighty tree came down. And so what a system allows you to do is centralize. You centralize your power. Listen to me, you centralize your power. It's more focused. And as a result, the impact is greater. You don't always see it. It's not always seen. And Ken said something that was so deep. I wish Ken was in here. We had our staff meeting this morning, CJ. And
what's the staff
Ken
meeting?
said, as we were, it's not for gorillas. Don't worry about it. It's not a meeting for gorillas.
I'm not familiar with the
gorillas. Definitely not a meeting for gorillas. But Ken said something so deep. To your point, Ken said one of the things that people have to be cautious of in this company is that this is a very popular company. And you do hear E's name, you know, and because of the podcast and some other stuff, you're starting to hear C's name and Carl's name. He said, but you don't necessarily hear our name. You know, and he said, and you have to be cautious because what will happen sometimes is you'll do things for recognition. Like I built that website, or I did that video, or I put together document, like I did that. And Ken said, you gotta be cautious of that because the I thing does not allow you, the I thing doesn't work in systems. You know, and so Ken said, but what happens in this system, he was talking to some of the younger people. He said, but what happens is if we all do what we're supposed to do and we're not looking for credit for it, we will all get a ring. We will all wear the t-shirt. We will all be in the parade. We will all be on the stage. All of our names will go down as a part of winning this particular championship. So I think that's the shift.
Ken said that?
When you're doing it without the system. Ken said that. Yep. Ken said that. Ken Nelson. Ken Nelson. LaToya's husband.
Where am I when Ken is giving these impassioned speeches? Ken just be looking at me like,
in meetings.
Okay, I got it.
In meetings. Yeah, in meetings.
I'm coming to the next staff meeting, by the way.
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if we're going to have any more now.
I told you, he banned me from the staff meetings. Like we had a few people cry, and then I was banned, and I ain't been back since. I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying?
He looking out the window trying to find Ken.
Hey, with that being said, man, I hope Ken don't kill me. But he's not on the podcast, so he can't. But I just want all our listeners to know that Ken and his wife went to the doctor's office yesterday and found out that they're having a baby,
baby boy.
So shout out to Ken. He's gonna have to have a girl next because all of us have our
Boy,
boy
then the
first,
girl, yeah.
then our girl next. So shout
Yeah,
out to
he
Ken and
yeah,
Latoya.
yeah.
Congratulations, congratulations. Hey, you know what's so crazy? She said to me yesterday, I forgot the term that she used, but she said something like when she went yesterday, it was like, it wasn't the word hectic she used, but she was like, you know, it was overwhelming. And I said, ooh, get ready. You've not seen no
Right, before they even get here?
You're gonna need a system.
Let me send Trey up there for a couple days. I'll show you overwhelming.
Yeah, I'll show you
Wait,
overwhelming.
when you got to
Shout out
wipe
to
his
Ken,
butt.
but- Oh
You know
man,
what I'm saying?
hey,
Now that's overwhelming.
Fair foul. Should he not have it just sitting up there like that for you see? Fair foul. He should find just sit on the toilet
No,
and
I'm
wait for
saying
you.
it would
Fair
have been
foul.
fair. That's my little man. But then you're going to try to yell at me talking about I'm a big boy. But then in 2 seconds later,
Right.
Dad, come wipe my butt. I'm like, unbelievable. I told Jay, it was funny, not to get too far off topic, but I told Jay, me and Jay went to the gym this morning, so he came to drop the babies with me off at school. And Trey had a challenging day yesterday at school. Let's just say that. He didn't necessarily want to sit down and shut up. So we dropped the kids off. So I took Avery to her class. She needed some more diapers, all that kind of stuff. So Jay come and pick them up with me, but never like drop them off. And we dropped them off. Then I went over and got Trey straight, you know, talked to his teacher. Yeah, we're going to have a better day today. Jalen was just sitting there watching the whole thing. And of course, Jay just got back from Miami. He was at a bachelor party and, you know what I'm saying, just not a care in the world. And I looked at him and I was just like, yo, time flies, bruh. I'm like, yo, I'm sitting up here talking about diapers and behavior with my son, with his teachers. And I'm looking at you like, man, I was just right there. Like I was just 21, 22 years old, like not a care in the world. I wasn't married, I didn't have kids, and life just seemed so, you know, abundant. You know what I'm saying? And it still does, but just in a different kind of way now. Like I was sitting there.
And I was just where you were, with all the
I'm
cares
like,
in the
bro,
world.
I'm wiping
and they
butts
didn't-
now. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this is
a weird
crazy. Like,
transition,
it just,
bro.
I look, and I don't
I'm on the
know,
other
for
side
whatever
of where
reason,
you are,
Jay was
though.
like, man, that's crazy. He like, you know, I'm waving at the other parents,
is.
dropping their kids off, and it was just like, yo, how did I get here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I got gray hair. Lord have mercy. Stop the podcast.
Welcome to the club.
Stop the podcast.
Nobody's supposed to be
Stop the
here.
podcast. I can't take this no more. I'm getting too old. But no, man, life, life just, you know, it's a funny way, man. You know, I think it was funny. We were in the sauna and I was talking to Jay and I was like, Jay, you know, we were just continuing on the conversation from the daycare. We sitting in, you know, I was like, yo, I know why your dad is so hard on you. And he was like, for real? And I was like, bro, I got a son. I was like, yo, you have to understand, you are literally our most prized investment that we will ever have in the history of life.
sir.
I was like, yo, your dad loved me and was on my head, but not nearly to the extent that he's on your head. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like a big brother to me. He's like, he is your father. You actually came from him. I was like, yo, I get it. I know it's tough on you, and he rides you, and it's hard, and you know, you feel like it's not fair, but I'm sitting here telling you, I have a son now, and just imagine, I said, Jay, imagine if you had everything you had in the world, and you put everything you have in the world up for grabs for a flower or something. I was like, how much would you take care of that flower if your whole future was riding on that flower? I said every single day you would water it, you would nurture it, you give it little seeds, you put it in the sun when it's supposed to be in the sun, and the water when it's supposed to get the water. You do everything you can if you had everything invested. I said, that's how your dad feels about you. He literally has invested everything into you and your sister, and he'll be doggone if he don't get a return on that investment. And so sometimes he may be a little hard, but I was like, yo, I get it. I'm on Trey. He 3. I'm in his classroom, like, for real. We talking to the teachers about listening and making sure we straight, because I'm just trying to get him on the right track. And I told Jay that, and he was like, no, I see it. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, you see me drop Trey off? Like, you don't, it's crazy because as a kid, you don't get to see that. Like, my dad has always been my dad. You know what I'm saying? He looked the same, like he probably a little balder, maybe a few more pounds than he was when I was little, but he's always been that. But like, I'm wiping Trey's butt right now. So soon he'll be 21. And while I'll always still be the same dad, I'm gonna know what it's like to wipe his butt. And so I'm trying to show Jay through Trey, yo, this is how your dad still feels about you. He still remember having to wipe your butt. And so the things that he's doing for you and the way he rides you is not because he trying to be hard on you. He just got so much invested into this thing, Boog. And I think he understood, and you know, we had a good conversation about it.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That sounds like a book, so you need to jot that whole concept.
So I just felt like, though, that was so heavy that this was pause for, what do you call that? Not commercial. Yeah,
This
commercial
episode
break.
is brought.
Yeah,
I'm glad you said that because we do have a sponsor.
Do we have a
today.
sponsor?
We sure
It
do.
just felt like the place that a sponsor should go.
Yeah, no, we make sure check on E for me though, Carl. Make sure he not crying or nothing like that because I know.
Oh no, he walked off to the corner a little bit and looked through the window, so I might have missed a tear.
You know what? I want to just make one correction. I want to. Everything C said is correct. But I'm saying
So
he doesn't
don't
have a
correct me then,
22-year-old.
if it's all correct.
Yeah, okay. Right. He doesn't have a 22-year-old.
Piggyback
But I must
off the
say this.
correctness.
Right. Oh, there you go. Let me. If I can add to what CJ said, for those young people who are listening, in actuality, is we don't just do it. We don't even do it to get a return on our investment. We do it so you could get the greatest return on your investment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't do it because I want Jalen to buy me a yacht or buy me a home.
Yeah, his
I do it because I want
fulfillment is
Jalen to
your
buy me.
fulfillment.
You know what I'm saying? And look, I'm not putting no voodoo out there on him or nothing like that. Knock on wood. I just don't want you to make the type of decisions that are forever. You know what I'm saying? You make some bad decisions and you got to live with that. You know, because I had to live without my father because of some of the decisions he made when he was a kid. Like, I had to go through that. I had to go through maybe not baby mama drama because my mother just decided to cut him off completely. You know, and so for me, it's like, yo, I don't want you to experience that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I put you in a position where you only have to experience that if you make that choice. Like, I raised you in a 2-parent home where your mama is your mama and your daddy is your daddy, and they've been married for 27 years. And you and your sister have the same mother and father. Like, I put you in a situation to make it easier for you to duplicate that, if you will. Like, I went to college, and not just did I go to college, I went to the college that you went to open up the path to make it easier. So as parents, we don't necessarily want, you to do anything for us. We just don't want you to make the type of decisions that will put you in a bind for the rest of your life. You know, that you could easily make at 21 because you're not thinking about your future. So I add to what CJ and say, look, I don't necessarily want a return on my investment. I want my investments. I want all of my investments to yield. You know what I'm saying? What they're supposed to yield.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. And here goes the thing. Your return on investment is tied to that. So you know what I'm saying? Like,
right,
you
absolutely.
want your child to live the best life possible. And I honestly think, like, me and Jay have had a lot of conversations since he moved down here, but I honestly think him watching me with Trey, like, he's getting to see it from like an outside bubble. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's getting to see. I'm like, yo, Jay, one day Trey is going to be 21 looking at me. Imagine how much I love him now. You see me with him every day. I got to hold him, read to him, kiss him, hug him, do all of this, wipe his butt, whole nine. Like, imagine how much even stronger my love is going to be for him and how much more deep our relationship is going to be at 21. That's how your dad still look at you. So when you off in Miami, yeah, your dad worried about you. I don't care if you're 40. He's always going to be worried about you. He's always going to be hard on you.
It never go away.
You know,
Yeah,
and so
always.
I think he understood and he was like, man, you right. Like, I saw a light bulb go off in his head. So, yeah, shout out to Jalen, man.
Yeah, and I think, I want to say this to the parents out there because I come across a lot of parents who have anxieties, and I'm going to be honest. I had my own anxieties until what C said. I know I no longer have anxieties with my children because the system that we created. So the system gonna do what it's gonna do. Like, don't think that Tom Brady don't ever throw interceptions.
Right.
Don't think that they don't ever have turnovers. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't think that they don't have 3 and outs. You know what I'm saying? Or they got burned. You know what I'm saying? Stuff happens. But what we're trying to tell you is, if you have a system, a winning system, it doesn't mean you're not going to take hits sometime. And I think that was my anxiety at some points was like,
You don't never want him to take
he
a
might
hit.
end up doing this. Yeah, he might end up doing that. And God, like, he going to take a hit. It's football. The boy going to take a hit. He not going to pay attention at every route that he run. He is going to catch the ball, and sometimes he might run it back for a touchdown on special field, special teams, and sometimes he might get his block knocked off. Your daughter, she a girl. She in college. Some little boy probably going to hurt her heart. It is what it is. But if you set up a system, at the end of the day, the New England Patriots going to win. They may not win every single game, but when it's time to win the Super Bowl, they're going to win it. So I would just say, parents, let's focus on business owners, marriages, whatever. Don't get so caught up on like we coaches. Don't get caught up on every single play. That's not what coaches do. They don't get caught up on every single play. They get caught up on the series. They get caught up on the system. And so I'm just saying to you, like, yo, my anxiety level has gone way down because I'm like, yo, I taught my kids well. They gonna make mistakes. Some things are gonna happen. But at the end of the day, they grew up in the the LA Lakers. You know what I'm just saying? New York Yankees, Boston Red Sox, they grew up in a phenomenal system. Two-parent, and I'm not saying you got to be in two-parent, but I'm just saying two-parent. Didi went to school, I went to school, we go to church. We're not perfect, but we try to do the right. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to do what's right. We try to raise our kids right. And so for those of you who have done the right thing, the principles will protect. The principles will create power. The principles will create impact. You just keep living by principle. You keep setting a strong, solid system, a strong foundation. And I'm telling you, you're gonna see win after win after win after win, and it's gonna be a legacy. I promise you that.
See, ladies and gentlemen, that's why E's the best in the world. Did you see how he just brought us full circle, Carl? I didn't know how we were gonna get back to the system. But I promise you.
No, you playing. See, I had a definition here pulled up. I was like, crap, we off topic. I'm gonna read the definition and pull us back, but no need for it no more. Yeah, full circle.
No, hip hop.
Appreciate
that's
that.
what, ladies and gentlemen, the hip hop preacher, Douglas Thomas, ladies and gentlemen.
Can that be the nugget though?
No. Don't rob the people of their nugget, especially if we got to do what we got to do with the. I thought today I'd bring y'all the negative comments. So after that we're gonna need a nugget.
Thank you.
You're gonna need a nugget after that. But man, listen, shout out to our sponsor. Y'all heard Carl? Do y'all hear Carl on these intros reading these sponsor segments? I'm talking about Carl straight sound like the voiceover expert. So shout out to Carl for that, man. Again, this episode is brought to you by Wells Financial Legacy. They remove slow payments, charge-offs, medical collections, repossessions, evictions, tax liens, bankruptcies, judgments, foreclosures, and many more. Call the representatives at Wells Financial Legacy. They're standing by to help you with a one-on-one appointment, all right? Take action and position yourself and your family for financial success at 1-800-339-8034. Again, that's Wells Financial Legacy, 1-800-339-8034. Listen, guys, get your credit right, please. Can you go get your credit right? Yeah. I'm just learning, and shout out to my mom, man, who was on the credit thing when I was young. She opened a credit card in my name when I turned 18, and she just started using it and paying it off and using it and paying it off. So by the time she actually gave me the card when I graduated from college, I started with like a 750 credit score. And so I cannot tell you how important credit has been in my life. Just when I went to buy cars. I mean, my interest rate, he'll tell you, I went in there with the swagger in my mid-20s when we bought the Escalade and straight told them what interest rate we were going to get on the car because I knew we had good credit. So for those of you out there who have bad credit, listen, get started now trying to fix that. Like, you really need to have that. You're going to end up, I never understood. I mean, like, it's like the rich get richer, right? If you got a low credit score, you end up paying more. Chances are you had a low credit score because you did some irresponsible stuff, but I'm telling you, it's never too late to get back. So start building that financial credit back up. That way, for real, for your houses, everything you do going forward, man, you're going to end up paying less and, having a lot more options. So again, we thank our sponsors over at Wells Financial Legacy. Give them a shout at 1-800-339-8034 and get your credit built back up. Thank you to them for being our sponsor of the day. All right, gentlemen, are y'all sure y'all want to do it? Cue Taylor Swift. Cue Taylor. All right, let's get Taylor going. Are y'all sure y'all want to do this? It's been a great podcast. We talked about family. Do we have to do the negative feedback? I'm concerned. E, are you ready for this? Can you handle it?
Can you handle this?
Carl, are you sure? All right, Taylor.
I don't think you can handle this.
Hey, if you don't,
somebody cue a Destiny Child.
Hey, if you don't hear me answer, my battery died.
Okay, got you. Carl battery died. Just letting you know in advance. All right, Taylor, take us in. All right, here we go. All right, Derek and Charlotte said, I love E, but are we sure this guy has a PhD? I've heard this guy mispronounce more words than I care to explain. This guy literally said salmon when referring to salmon. Yes, salmon with an L. S-A-L-M-E-N. It's salmon, E. Keep up the great work, guys. All right, shout out to Derek for catching that. Victor in Jacksonville has one for Carl. He says, does anybody else find it ironic that Carl's nickname is the Sensation? I mean, this guy literally hasn't said one sensational word since the podcast. Since the podcast.
Hey, what was his name again? I'm gonna have to email him real quick.
He didn't leave an email. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Logan in Miami said, E.T., CJ, and Carl have a pretty good podcast. You know, the only thing that would make it better if Carl and CJ were not on it. No offense, fellas, but we're here for E.
Shake it off, shake it off.
You gotta love it. Hey, C, I see why you can't do this every week.
I'm talking about killing my self-esteem, bro.
Hey, you said these are from our fans, right?
Well,
Our supporters,
hey,
right?
I don't know if they're fans or not. Let's see.
Hey, and tell whoever my man was, I only had to spell the words right to get the PhD. I don't have to keep saying it right. Tell him I got a PhD in one area. I did not get a PhD in spelling.
Let's see. This I feel bad. This is a personal attack. And Jarrett in Houston, you're going to have to come see me. I don't mind you talking about the podcast, but now you bring in personal attack. He said, hey, CJ, bought your children's book at the Houston conference, and it's excellent, by the way. However, I couldn't help but notice that in the book, your character has hair. Dude, I just saw you in Houston. You're bald. Why the denial?
Hey, that because you get the opportunity when you're writing the book. You get that's where it was when he first.
Let me tell you something,
when he
Jared.
first had the idea for the book. That's where his hair was.
My man. Hey, Jared, write your own damn book. You can give yourself as much hair as you want to. Just for that.
But I'm saying, see, did you have hair? Did you have hair? Did it look like that
I
at
don't
one
care
point
if
in
it
your
did
life?
or not. The
Absolutely.
next book, I'm going to have a Dr. J afro. However you want to do it. Once you pay your illustrator,
Lord have mercy.
you could do it as well. So, man, thank you for the negative feedback this week.
Yeah, thank you.
As always, man, it's appreciated.
It's appreciated.
Yeah, we can
Thank
only
you.
do this like once a month, man, because it's, I see them, but to read them
can
out
get
loud.
rough.
Oh, man, my man done called out my hair. Lord have mercy. All right, cool. Well, let's transition into Ask ET, a more civilized segment of this podcast. But always a fan favorite. Wesley in Orlando said, ET, what is your biggest pet peeve about the speaking industry?
That people don't apply the principles that they learn. See, it's the biggest piece, man. It's like, people say they want it and then they get it and they don't use it.
My biggest pet peeve is the snakes that are in this industry that end up giving people a bad name. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, those of you listening to the podcast know that, we're real guys with real families and, real folks, man. But I'll be honest, man, we've been behind some closed doors and there's a lot of really snaky, sharky people out there, man, who trying to get over on folks, man, and take their money and, don't really have good products and don't stand by the stuff they do and just looking to hustle for a dollar. And I think the thing that bothers me is when I see large, groups of people following, people I know that are not real and don't have their best interest at heart. I'd say that's my biggest pet peeve, that, it's a lot of dishonest people in this industry, like any industry, right? I guess any industry, there's always shady people. You can be in the car business, you can be, in real estate. There's shady people everywhere you go. But I think that's my biggest pet peeve is we have some true to life snakes in the grass when it comes to this industry. And a lot of times people don't always see the real, although you guys listening to this podcast obviously know that you're dealing with the real deal.
Just keep a lot of mothballs around.
Yeah, no doubt.
Keep a lot of mothballs
100%.
around.
Let's see. Sam in El Paso said, ET, who do you consider to be your main rival? Tony Robbins?
I don't know that we have, in our space, I'm just being honest. I don't know that we have a rival. I think while Tony Robbins is definitely one of the best that has ever done this, I think that our demographics, while we share maybe, some of the demographics, I think, CJ, we have a total different demographic. I think when you look at the Zig Ziglars of the world, the Les Browns, the Tony Robbins, I'm trying to think of my man's name. Some of the other guys
Darren Hardy.
there, but I don't. Yeah, Darren Hardy. What's our guy name that was with me internationally, Carl? Man,
Give me 2 seconds. Keep talking. I'll find it.
Carl said he'll get the name. But no, I don't think that they're our rivals. See, I think we have a millennial group. I think that's our major focus. Schools, athletes. So I don't know that we have a rival. See, because I think we have a demographic, or we are appealing to a demographic. Like, we got mixtapes, like hip hop mixtapes. We were just on Meek Mill stuff. We was on Fab, stuff I heard. So
Nick Vujicic.
Yeah, Nick Vujicic. Yep. Which is a phenomenal.
Did y'all see
speaker,
Carmelo
but I think-
Anthony's Instagram? Somebody just Nikki sent me that this morning. Carmelo posted
Yeah.
up our quotes
Yeah.
on Instagram. Shout out to Melo.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? So for me, see, I think we have a whole different demographic. So I'm not trying to make something up. I'm just saying I think we have a lane that we've created through our system that we don't share. I think there are young people who are coming up who feel enlightened and empowered by what we do, who are starting to get the attention of our demographic. But I don't think some of the top speakers in this country are meeting the specific needs of the people that we're meeting right now.
So no rivals.
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. I'd beg to differ, but I'll hold my opinion for another time. I'll exercise my inner flamingo and just go dark on this.
Right.
Where
Inner. Let's see, one more. Let's see, Charlene in Lexington. This is a good question. If you could change one thing about each other, what would it be?
Tennessee would be
Careful. We're going back to the negative
I'm taking
feedback.
half of the
We
girls
already
from
did the
C.
negative
We gotta get-
feedback.
You know what I'm saying? Though? I want Carl and C to be a little bit more flamingo in business.
are.
Oh,
Don't go changing.
The color
No,
of
let me
your hair.
start. There are some things I would change about y'all for sure. No, I'm just kidding. E, if I could change one thing about E, oh man, it's so hard because everything E's not made him. Everything he is.
Right.
that's the hard
Yeah.
part. I'm saying,
That's
like,
a song.
if he can focus, dog, on it for a
no.
second.
I
but
would
then,
say
yeah,
if
it'll
I
throw
could change
everything
one
else
thing,
off.
it would be that E would not be so forgetful. Just because every time we leave a restaurant, we got to run back and get his wallet, keys, something. So that takes a lot of time.
But you can go get it though. That's not that hard.
But no, seriously, the biggest things I think, just from my perspective, E had to work on. He's worked on so much. E never used to like to deal with confrontation, and as a leader, it's just impossible to get through life without dealing with
absolutely.
confrontation. And so that's one of the things that I think E has worked on big time. And not that he's a confrontational person, but he just understands that in leadership, you're gonna have some uncomfortable conversations. You're gonna have to tell people some uncomfortable things, and I think he's done that. But so I think that would be it, and he kind of has worked on that. And then the thing, Carl, if I change anything about Carl, it would just, and Carl is coming down that lane again, similar to E, that just the confidence factor with Carl, the ownership, you know what I'm saying? Like Carl, even for the longest time, still it was hard for him to transition out of that, seeing E so dominant. And I think he'll tell you this podcast has been big for him. I think, Carl, we actually talked about that, a month ago or so, when you were like, yo, the podcast has really been, big for me, just allowing me to talk through these stories and see how much of an instrumental part I've been. And I think, Carl coming into that ownership and starting to make decisions without consulting and, just taking the reins and running with it has been huge.
So for E, I just need him to include my shoe size when he go on gig.
No doubt.
You
Include
feel
my
me?
shoe size.
And Carl not that hard. He 11, so
That's an awesome question. I'm still trying to think through. See, I'll be honest. I'm still trying to think because, and we talk about the animals again. My animal is the one that adjusts the most, the chameleon. So I've adjusted and gotten used to as, like, I accept it as normal and almost like it now because I'm used to it. You know what I'm saying? But the things that both of y'all do for me is in terms of that just that push. And while it's the thing that you would want to, kind of rebuttal and kind of run away from, that's the thing that increases who I am. That's the thing that pulls more out of me.
yeah, but it's like you said, though, it's not comfortable at times.
But you're right, it's uncomfortable. There are times,
Like
there's
you going
stuff
in
I
the
gotta
cage.
do. CJ's like, nope, that's your department. You gotta deal with it. Somebody did something crazy. You gotta call them and you gotta chew them out. You gotta fire them if you have to. And I'm like, ooh, I gotta, ooh. Oh, okay. All right, and I'm not gonna tell C, no, I can't do that. Like, I'm gonna just literally figure out how I'm gonna get it done because, like, that's just, what I'm saying, the nature of it. But honestly, like, they push, and that's something that I guess, like, twofold. Like, would want to change a little bit to be more comfortable, But the more mature person is like, no, that's the thing that I probably respect the most now because it's pulling the most out of me and then doing the most for us all collectively. So I'm sorry, I ain't got no sensational answer for you on that one.
Lord,
Nobody wants to say nothing about
Don't let my man be
nobody
right.
wants to say nothing about the gorilla in the room, huh? You know what I'm saying? It's not the elephant in the room, it's the gorilla in the room. You wish I was a
it's
little
the gorilla.
kinder and gentler. Okay, just say it.
No. I'm gonna say this, guys. For both of them, I wish they were more flamingo.
No doubt.
I wish that CJ would come to meetings.
Are you sure?
Staff meetings.
You come as a flamingo, you mean?
No. That he would, because if he was more flamingo, he'd be at the meetings.
At the meetings, right.
Yeah,
right.
he would be at the meetings. You know what I'm saying? I wish C could come to more staff meetings, and I wish Carl was more colorful. I wish Carl was more flamingo. No, for real. And that's why when C said what he said, we tease, but we know that you have to be cautious about, what you want in somebody to change, because for real, that is what makes us, what we are. And I just always think everything should be more flamingo. You know what I'm saying? That's just the nature
Well,
of
it
who
goes
I
back to
am,
what we talked about
But
at the top of the podcast and wanting to be surrounded with, like-minded people. And I think that's a
Like
problem
you,
just
yeah.
in the world in general. Like, people don't spend enough time with people who look
Yeah.
different than them, think different than them. And we end up with these narrow-minded opinions of the world. It's like, if you surround yourself and everybody got the same opinion on everything, how you supposed to grow, man?
Hey, so can we make sure when we come back next week, though, I did have 3 more, and I want to, if we can, finish those 3
I'll
when
think
we
about
come
it.
back.
I think about it. You know what I'm saying?
I wish he could be more flamingo, y'all.
Oh, man, all right.
Because when he says it's a gorilla, he'll think about it.
It means
that
no.
really means he's not thinking
Well,
about
you
it.
have a better chance of talking me into it, because I think the next podcast we're gonna do will be together in Miami. So I might be the sun.
there
the
it is,
sun
yeah.
might have me feeling good.
There
We
it is.
poolside doing this podcast.
And I might be able to show him all of the texts I sent him that he didn't know what that was talking about. I might be able to physically show him.
I didn't know what you meant about podcast alert. I wasn't sure. It wasn't clear enough. I missed the staff meeting. I wasn't informed on what that meant.
So I know Carl's got to get out of here, but can we go with what you would change? Because I think the problem is too many people want to change somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Too many people want to change others. And the reason why I'm always on the you is just because I feel like you have more control over you than you have over anybody else. So if there was one thing we each could change ourselves
I promise you,
about
to me,
ourselves.
that's easier. I don't know if because it's where we are, but here's the funny part. The stuff that I would change is the stuff that y'all pushing me to change. I'll be more direct. I'll be more colorful. I'll be more, you see what I'm saying? Just like I could see the benefits of adding those things to my character. Like I'd be more decisive.
It all
Like that's a
started
big
when
one for
Carl
me. My
went
confidence would be.
and charged the pastor. You know what I'm saying? It all started back then when Carl was like, "Look, you
By
want
the way,
your
who's
flip?
having his 50th
$100."
year anniversary? I didn't tell Carl, but they're having their 50th
Oh,
year
maybe Carl
marriage
can go tape it
anniversary
and
in
charge it.
Chicago.
Oh, I gotta go do
Premium
a video
choice.
I was
for
wanting
him.
Carl
I gotta
to
go
come.
do a video
Yeah, this
for
is
him.
Carl's time to
Hey, they're
make up
pulling
for
up
his
my
wrong.
past, y'all. They're pulling up my dirty past. First, they tell me to be more dominant, get more aggressive, and when I do it,
Just not the clergy.
they
Carl
clown
didn't
me.
charge
Just not
nobody
the
for
clergy.
6
I
years
just
and
happen
then
to go
charged
with
the
a
man who
pastor.
saved E's life. I was like, unbelievable, bro. We wouldn't have a job if it wasn't
No,
for
hey,
this
Carl
man.
said he didn't get the instruction book.
Yeah, y'all didn't tell me how to do it. Y'all just told me to be more
My
aggressive.
man
so I
came to
just
get
went
the
with it.
footage. Carl came to the door and the wife beater was like, that'll be 300. Oh, man. Unbelievable. Okay, real quick. September, no. Let me try to do it in chronological order.
He trying to
We're
get
in
away.
Miami this weekend. I'm pumped, man. I'm bringing my whole family, man. Got Trey and Avery coming, so that's going to be exciting. So shout out to everybody who's coming to Miami. We still got some tickets left. If you still want to, join us, man, go to etinspires.com/events. Go check out the new website anyway, man. We got a beautiful new website that just looks incredible. Carl did an amazing job on that. So shout out to him and his team for getting that website done. But go check us out. We'll be in Miami for the marriage conference this weekend. And then actually, we have a new event. Why don't you tell our people about the new event that you kind of
Yeah,
you
Detroit,
wanted to do?
man, the 24th.
When is it?
Yeah, see?
He snuck it in.
Did you hear that?
I heard it. He snuck
No,
it
I'm
in.
just saying it was your
You wanted
baby.
to
You didn't say that, yo, baby. That's not what you said.
That's what I meant,
Yeah, yeah,
man.
you said
See,
it
that's
as
one
more
of the
of a gorilla
downfalls of being the
tone.
gorillas. Everything is taken as a slight and a jab. I was actually just saying.
I'm
that
just
was
telling
yours.
you what you said.
When he said Miami, he's like, we'll be in Miami.
Absolutely.
And the one of Detroit E that you wanted to do.
You know what I'm saying? The one that you wanted to do. So real quick, guys, you know, we always looking for the gaps. You know, and one of the things that people have shared with us is like, yo, E, the marriage boy, y'all do a phenomenal job, and you give me instructions and, you know, tools. I didn't grow up, you know, in the perfect family, or I didn't grow up, you know, like looking at a marriage, you know, or my father was abusive, my mother wasn't whatever. Great job. You know, even with the stay ready, you know, the personal development type pieces and, you know, all of that, we love it. But it was like, yo, you guys have literally created a business. You know what I'm saying? And you guys haven't talked about, if I'm not selling, you know, one of the network marketing brands, if I'm not doing real estate, if I'm not doing insurance, if I'm not selling cars, like, yo, is there a space for me? And we like, absolutely. We never sold none of that. Like, we didn't get here doing that. We found our product is us. C's brilliance, you know, Carl's technical skills, you know, my speaking ability. Like, we took what was in us and turned that into, you know, a business. And so I talked to a good friend of mine, Myron Edmonds, and Myron was like, yo, E, man, look, I know I'm phenomenal. I'm doing my thing, but I think there's still room to grow. And I was like, yo, Myron, you know, I got you, bro. So I really put this together for Myron and was just like, all right, Myron, what I'll do is rent out a hotel in Detroit, and whoever else comes, you know what I'm saying, it'll be, you know, those individuals. So we're doing a small C. Only 99 people are invited. The 100th, of course, is Myron. You know, so only 99 people are invited. I'm not trying to, you know, do no major conference with this, but we're literally going to show people how to take themselves and create a 6-figure income or a 7-figure income, however hard they're willing to work. And so there are 8 P's that we're going to give out. You know, so I look forward to everybody who's an entrepreneur. You got an idea, something you're having a hard time executing on that idea. We're going to walk you through the 8 P's that we use to get from, you know, working at Michigan State University to being one of the top influential, you know, public speaking firms or consulting firms in the country. So in a nutshell, see, we're just going to walk you through our journey together as businessmen.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm excited about that. And give me the date on that again.
August 24th, Detroit, Michigan.
All right, yeah, a couple of days before the big fight. I'm excited about that fight. Anybody else excited? Y'all don't watch boxing.
Oh, man.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm a heavyweight.
I'm upset and excited simultaneously. I'm upset at the concept, but it's definitely going to be
must
some
see TV,
sweet
baby. It's
entertainment for
entertainment.
sure.
I don't think there's any. Can you give me any fight? Maybe Pacquiao. I don't know if there's any fight that they fought that was lived
good
up. That was
like that.
sensational.
Yeah, that's
no.
real.
I don't know. See, I don't remember. I think Pacquiao might have been. I don't know if there was any other
Pacquiao
one.
wasn't really a great.
That was
like,
a
in the
terrible
way.
fight.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, not
That
at all.
was a terrible.
Okay, so I just know that they hyped all this stuff up. I
Oh,
never really watched them.
100%.
To be
It's
honest,
all
like I said,
hype.
much respect. You know, 50-0, I believe he is. Much respect for that.
Yeah.
Much respect also for the fact that while I grew up watching heavyweight, and I'm used to, you know, seeing Ali and Spinks and, you know, a little lower weight, Marvelous, you know, Hagler and Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray, you know, that whole era. So I'm not really against the running, but I do respect a man who could have a career and not get hit upside his head, you know what I'm saying, and go through all those concussions, if you will. So much respect. It's just that unfortunately I come up in a different era.
In the era of the halfback.
I don't
In the
value
era of the
it as much.
halfback.
Yeah, the halfback. Yeah, the halfback era.
Come in the halfback era.
The I formation. Yeah, the I
Oh
formation.
man, Douglas, I love the age difference in this podcast. Give a little something for everybody.
no doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
we got a little something for everybody flavor. So yes, and then September 2nd, man, stay ready. Man, that's just gonna be a movie, man. Y'all need to be in the building for that, man. The guys are super pumped about that. I believe we have a weapon.
Those are cribs?
Huh?
Yeah, we're in here. Ken looking at cribs. Praise God. Ken in here looking at houses to put the baby in. I love it.
Ken, we did make the
love it.
announcement.
Yeah, we
live.
did, Ken.
Is there
Sorry
anything you
about
wanna
that. I
add
know
for
you
the-
wanted
for
to
the
break the
public?
news about your baby gender to the world, but he took it upon himself to make that decision for you.
Well, he's never on the podcast, so what was I to do? That's the flamingo in me. It's the flamingo.
No doubt.
I want everybody to start. Hey, I want everybody to start sending baby shower gifts right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
Love
Yeah,
it, Ken. He's showing me the home. Beautiful.
And I
home.
still have a
Is it
1-year-old
Grand
that want to
Ledge?
send
Yes.
something to me too, some diapers. Oh, let me tell y'all something, man. I was so hurt the other day. I don't know, Carl and E, you probably back in the day of the halfback, y'all didn't have diapers. Y'all only had the cloth ones. Y'all probably didn't have the real.
Oh yeah, my sister, yeah, we did, and we had companies that would come and pick them up. So you use them, and the companies would come. You're absolutely right. See?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. This is the new era problems. Carl, have you ever washed a diaper?
No.
Bruh, I accidentally
do that?
washed a diaper in the washing machine. Like we came home, we was gone for a month. So we came home, I tossed how you just grab a whole handful. You like, I'm not even about to sort these joints. I just picked up a whole bunch of dirty clothes and threw them in the washing machine. And bruh, I went and opened that machine. How about it's gel everywhere? Did you know it was gel in the diaper?
I figured because when you feel it when it's wet, you could feel the little.
I just thought it was
in there.
soft
So I know it
cotton.
was some kind of gel stuff. No, I knew it was some kind
I'm
of
talking
gel
about
in
it
there.
looked
Wow, but
like
that's
a
like a busted
doggone
open?
can of jelly exploded in the washing machine.
Wow.
I was like, yo, I spent like an hour the other day cleaning out the washing machine. It was a nightmare.
Wow.
So that's just a little side note for anybody out there with kids. Be careful you don't wash a diaper and with your clothes, because I mean, I just tore. My clothes got so much lint and gel on them, it was ridiculous. But thanks to Dr. Google, I wasn't the first person who did it, so I was able to go and remedy the situation. But it was a nightmare. So anyway, any other announcements, guys? Anything else?
No, I just want to know, do I have to say salmon now? Like, do I have to say that? Because my man, you know what I'm saying? Do I
I think
say
all
fish.
of our
Don't even go
salmons
through it.
came
Just say
in.
fish.
do I have to say salmon? I just want to know, do I have to say salmon?
What-
now?
how
Can
do
I
you
not
say it? Say it how you would say it
salmon with an
before.
L? Salmon with an L. You know what I'm saying? Do I have to correct it now? Because he corrected me.
What's the other
Do
word?
I have to do it?
Humble.
Yeah, humble.
Do you eat your
Humble.
salmon
I'm just
with
saying,
a knife?
if somebody, I'm just saying, see, if you say it publicly, do we have to make the correction because it was said publicly?
Well, I mean, I think at
so-
the end of the day, it's on you. However you want to accept the negative feedback is on you.
I'm just asking. I know you have a reason for why you do it, or they have a reason for why they're listening. And so I don't want to piss my man off. Yeah, I just had salmon and rice today, and he over there cringing, about to lose his mind and questioning my PhD.
Well, he don't have to worry about you saying that anymore because you went full-time vegan.
Oh, you know what,
Oh,
though?
there it is. There
I
it
had
is,
to say
see.
this, though. See, I forgot to tell you this. And I'm talking to my cousin now because she's trying to see if there's an alternative. But it's healthy for Didi to eat it because what happens with the, what do you call that again, Carl? I always get it confused.
Myelin sheath.
Myelin sheath is that fatty tissue or that oil that's in fish actually helps to regenerate and recode it. But Didi is trying her hardest to find, people say all the time, you can get it in this or you can get it in that. But that is the more, I don't want to say, I guess I could say natural. I don't know that drinking liquid is the natural way of taking a pill is necessarily any more natural than eating fish. But her cousin, of course, who is our, who does all our meals for us, was like, she don't gotta eat fish. She's vegan. She don't gotta get fish. She could get it in this and this and that. So I did want to make that correction. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not necessarily into fish like that. I'm gonna be real, but until we find a substitute, at least once a week, Didi does eat it so that she can, she gets that. I don't know what it is. I hate to say it because then somebody's gonna correct me, omega-3, fishy oil or omega, I don't know. See, I'm just saying omega-3, and they'll correct us next week.
Get
So when they do
next
it,
negative
just send it to
feedback.
me.
This guy doesn't even know his omega-3s. How is he a PhD? I'm like, bro, what does that have to do with the PhD?
I guess you're supposed to know everything.
yeah.
Hey, the negative feedback segment will be in full effect. We'll do it again. Don't worry. I know everybody want to hear us get
Trust me,
bashed.
they coming. Yeah, hey, trust me, and it's coming.
Oh, it's definitely coming. It's coming. Now, and here go the bad part. I thought about not doing it because now everybody's going to be cute and try to send in their negative feedback. But listen, if you're going to send negative, I'm not mad, but at least go to iTunes and leave us a positive review. I checked it out. I think we were at number 12, Carl. I think we were number 12, which means that y'all letting 11 podcasts stun on us and be on our head. So if you love us and you want to see us get to number 1, go leave us a review. Tell a friend to listen. Send it to a friend. Share it. You can share podcasts, Go to your wherever you listen to it. Hit the little forward button and send it to your whole phone book. Trust me, they'll love you for that. Do it in the group text so that everybody's texting each other for the next 6 months. Trust me, they'll love you for it.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, y'all, we need to get out of here, get some work done. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all in Miami. What, y'all come in, Friday? Yep. So I see y'all on Friday. Maybe we can do a special live edition of the podcast at some point, or I don't know.
Hey, well, not
Can
Friday,
we do it
'cause
on
we
the
travel
beach?
late, so we'll have to do it Saturday.
You going
morning
Thursday,
before
don't
we,
you?
Can we do it on the beach, or is
I
it
thought
gonna
you
get
were Thursday.
sand?
No, we
in
can do it on the
equipment?
beach. See,
Is the equipment sand?
that's all right. We'll
we
clean
can
it
try.
out.
Okay, cool. Well, we just have a little breeze whipping through there, but we're gonna be in Miami this weekend. So to everybody coming to Miami,
Hey, and then we take right off and head to Barbados.
Oh, don't
so I'm
even.
geeked about
Yeah.
that. We take right off. We've been promising Carl we were gonna walk the
For
same
about 10
streets
years
that he
now.
walked, the mean streets of Barbados, and we're about to finally get to walk those mean
unfortunately, I
streets of
didn't get
Barbados.
invited, so I won't be there. But
Well, next time.
Yeah.
Next time.
We get you. Hey, we're going to spy it out first and make sure it's
Yeah,
right
make
for
sure
you.
it's
You the
good.
gorilla
Hey,
now.
it's
So we
it's
can't have it
gorilla
wrong
friendly.
for you.
no,
Right.
Yeah, there's enough
it's a
bananas in that
sensitive
joint.
subject. Don't even bring it up. I'm still salty. So just let's just focus on Miami, could we please?
The gorilla to gorilla. I think the gorilla, that was a vanilla in Manila.
I'm talking about Manila. All right, yeah. Well, now that y'all done brought my mood back down, I was feeling back positive after the negative feedback, but now I'm back down. So E, hit us with a nugget of the day so we can get out of here and get busy.
Yeah, guys, I know Carl talked about being pushed, and we definitely, you listen to me enough, you will feel like, man, E, you pushing, right? But remember, it's not about perfect, right? But it is about perfect effort. All right, I'm gonna say it again. It's not about being perfect. You will probably, and I'm 99.99%, you will probably never reach perfection, right? So it's not about perfection, but it is about perfect effort, all right? And when you bring that effort every single day, listen to me, every single week, every single month, when you bring that type of effort every single year, yeah, that's when transformation happens. That's when magic happens. That's when you start to see yourself execute and things that were never real become real. So again, it's not about being perfect. Nope, but it is about perfect effort. And remember, when you bring that type of effort, perfect effort every single day, yeah, that's when things change. That's when things happen. Are you hearing me? That's when the phenomenal you, the phenomenal life occurs. And I'm gonna keep it 100. That's when you are able to have and be and do everything you ever wanted to do. So do not, for real, do yourself a favor. Do not get in environments where you're not being pushed. Do not be around people who are not pushing you. Look, again, we're not asking you to be perfect, but look, you gotta strive for it, all right? And remember, listen to me, if you do that, man, if you do that, man, life is gonna be everything you dreamed it was gonna be. It's not gonna be easy, but you could get it done. So it's your boy E.T. saying, please make the rest of your life the best of your life with no excuses, just adjustments.
Appreciate that nugget of the day, E. Shout out to our sponsor this week, Wells Financial Legacy, for the love. Go leave us that review on iTunes. We'll see you next week.
I want you to focus on here right now. Don't you worry about when you get home. You concentrate on this opportunity. You don't worry about tomorrow. You concentrate on this opportunity with all your might.